Hey guys, welcome to the 7-Figure Box Show. My name is Andrew Frezza, and today I'm going to be answering the question of whether or not an InBody machine is worth it for your gym or not. Okay, so we have an InBody machine at our gym, and we've had one since about April of 2018. We purchased the InBody 270, which is the smaller of the three models, or the cheaper of the three models, I should say, of the stand-up models that they have. I think they have some more like a traditional scale model, and they have some ones that are even more in depth than that, but they have three main models of these traditional stand-up models that you have the handles to grip on, and we have the smaller of those three. So the version that we have does all your body fat testing. It tells you your muscle mass, it tells you the body fat percentage, your base metabolic rate. It even tells you some of your water content that you have, as well as it gives you a distribution of where you're holding weight, okay? And it shows you like a right to left leg breakdown, right to left arm breakdown, if you're carrying more weight in your midsection, and it shows you that. What it doesn't show you, what some of the higher models show you, I believe, is visceral fat being the key difference in some of those more expensive models of the InBody, and then showing where that water breakdown is by body part and by certain sections of your body, okay? So in my experience with the version that we have, it's all that we need. It does everything that we want out of machine, and I see no reason for a traditional CrossFit gym or that type of gym to need anything beyond what we have. So I'd recommend going for that model. That model cost us $5,700 when we bought it back in April of 2018. That included shipping, it included a printer, it included some of the wipes and some of the sheets that you need to then print out the test. But I want to talk today about why we love the InBody, maybe some of the downsides of it, and whether I think financially it's really returned on that investment. So let's kick it off with some of the benefits that I see with the InBody. Number one is I think it is so much better than the scale. In fact, I can't even imagine looking back to when we didn't have the InBody. It's such a luxury to have now compared to things like the scale or doing calipers and pinching people's skin, or doing even before and after pictures, although I still like those a little bit, but especially compared to the scale, it is so much better than that. When we look at our clients, and in my opinion, if someone has less than 15 to 20 pounds of body fat to lose, the scale becomes a liar. The scale is not a really good way to track that, and most of those people are going to usually see those decreases in fat are usually going to come with an increase in muscle mass, especially in what we do in our gyms where we're moving weights, dumbbells and kettlebells and barbells. People are getting stronger, they're adding muscle mass, and a lot of times that's being offset, that muscle that's being added is offsetting some of that fat that's being lost. And I can't tell you the number of times that we've had clients that have lost, or not, I should say not lost, anything significant on the scale. They might have lost 1 or 2 pounds over the period of a month or 6 weeks. Some of those people have even gained weight on the scale, right? They might not have even seen that scale budge at all, or they might have actually seen the scale go up. And these are clients that want to lose weight. They set the goal of losing weight, and then they step on a scale and it's disheartening. And we hear that because a lot of them still are using their scales. They're using their scales at home because that's the only thing that they can track daily and weekly. And then when they come in for their InBody tests, and we actually can show them tangibly that, yes, you may not have lost a significant amount of weight in your eyes, but look at how much the body fat has moved. We've had so many people that have either stayed the same, gained some weight, or only lost like a pound or two, that when they stepped on the InBody, they lost 2% or more in body fat. And if you guys know the kind of the metrics with body fat, if you can lose 1% body fat in a month, that is fantastic. If you're doing 2% or more, and it's like a 4 to 6 week period, I mean, that's an incredible number. So these people were coming in somewhat depressed because they knew the numbers hadn't budged on the scale, and then they're stepping on an InBody and leaving so much happier because they know they're making progress. And that could be that single thing that keeps the momentum going and keeps that person sticking with the plan or program that you've set out for them. So again, I can't imagine not having the InBody anymore, and I think it's critical for those type of situations. The second reason I love the InBody is because it's quick, it's easy, and it's immediate, okay? When someone first comes for their first test, it takes about 5 minutes to do because you have to get their height down. There's a way to track their height with a thing that goes on top of their head, and it kind of shoots a laser to the floor. Pretty quick to use, but takes an extra minute or two to do that. You have to get some of their information into the system, so that takes a little longer the first time. But the second time they come in and you already have their height, you just have to enter their name or whatever you determine as their ID for the machine, and then all they have to do is step on. And the actual process of stepping on is about a 45-second process. It gets their weight, and then they grab the handles, they make sure they're on the right part of the machine, and then in about 20 to 25 seconds, it's already printing out their full results, okay? And they don't have to wait any longer for more detailed results. Every little detail is on that initial printout that they get within a few minutes. So I love the immediacy of it. If you're someone that's doing nutrition consults and you want to have that information right then and there for like a follow-up or an initial consult, maybe you're doing something like a no sweat intro and you want to be able to show that person tangibly where they are with the body fat and how you can help them improve that, then it's awesome to have those numbers and to have it immediate. The other thing I love about it is it's non-invasive, okay? So this is a really cool aspect in the sense of, you know, when you have a group challenge and you have people, like we've done it before, we've done group challenges and people are having to take their shirts off in the middle of a group to get a before and after picture. And that's just not a real, it's a super invasive way to do it. It's not a comfortable situation for a lot of people. So this is something that you can have in an office. People can leave their clothes on. They just have to take their shoes and socks off and any jewelry that they have on off at the time, and they can do the test and be done in a few minutes. So it works great in an individual setting, it works great in a group setting, and you're not having to, again, you know, squeeze people with calipers and do stuff that's not super comfortable, especially when you're not confident in, you know, how your body looks and feels. And because it's so easy to use, I found it as a fantastic option for our new members. We actually include an InBody with every single new member that signs up. So if they sign up for our 40 Days to Fit package, they get one on day 1 and they get one on day 40. But even if a new member just comes in and signs up for like a monthly Beach Fit membership, we're reaching out to that person to make sure that they do an InBody. You know, that's a person that could have bypassed our no sweat intro process, they're bypassing our 40 Days to Fit process, but we're still gonna reach out to that person and, you know, without forcing them to do it, we strongly encourage them to do that InBody. And the way that we talk about it to them is that, you know, we say that you may not want to see these results today, and we don't even care if you look at the results today. If you throw the thing right in the garbage without even look at it, you go home and burn it, it doesn't matter to us, but the results are going to be there, they're going to be stored in the system, and you're going to be so happy in 6 to 12 months that you did this test. And we share that with each member because we want them to have that initial test, because there's going to be come a time later on down the road where they start to face challenges, they start to face obstacles, they start to face plateaus, and when you can show them how far they've come since that original InBody test, it can be huge for them. You know, and when it comes to our nutrition coaching that we do, both our nutrition challenges and our one-on-one coaching, I couldn't imagine not having that InBody now as data and proof to show people that they are progressing during those time frames. So while the InBody is great, there are a few downfalls to it. Number one is we've noticed with taller people and people that have very large feet, it does kind of throw off the test. What we found is we had a couple taller athletes that were pretty lean, I mean, nothing too crazy, and they were showing up as like low single-digit body fat numbers. So when you have an athlete that is taller like that and they have, you know, big feet and it's kind of throwing off where the electrodes sit in relation to their feet and their hands, we found that it can provide inaccurate numbers. And we're talking people that are 6'6" and above that are throwing this off. Anyone below that really hasn't thrown off the data too much. It's been pretty consistent. So we're happy with that fact, but I wanted to share that with you guys. The other thing that happened to us is our machine did break down. This was a few months back. It just all of a sudden the screen turned off and it wouldn't turn back on. We're not even sure what happened. It's not something where we're moving the machine around a lot, but it just happened to break down. So we had to ship it back to California and pay a couple $100s to get it fixed because it was just outside the warranty, and then they sent us a new one back. And during that time frame, we actually have a local gym owner that has a machine that we were able to borrow his because it was right in the middle of a nutrition challenge for us. So it was poor timing for us, but it's cool if you have local gym owners near you that also have one you guys can team up and get each other's backs and share a machine because they're super portable. And that's another cool thing about it, is that it is portable. You can take it, for us, into our Beach Fit building, into our CrossFit building. It can go back and forth. We could take it to a special event or a corporate challenge if we wanted to do it. And it's very portable in that sense. It's very lightweight, easy to move. So that's another benefit of having this type of machine. Also want to share some quick tips and tricks with you guys. Number one is the wipes can get expensive. If you start doing challenges, you can go through them pretty quickly. They say that you have to buy more directly from InBody, but we found that you can just get some standard antiseptic wipes. I think we got ours from Uline. You can probably get it from a pharmacy type of store, but you can buy those in bulk. They're pretty cheap. There's nothing really special about the ingredients that goes with the wipes. Part of that is cleaning the feet and the hands before you get on the machine, but part of that is to create some of the hydration there, to create the electricity for the waves to kind of pass through your body. So we just use a standard wipe now that we got. It's a lot cheaper and it saves us a little bit money. Another thing to think about is, how are you going to run these? How are you going to schedule them? Who's going to actually operate the machine? And for us, it's really nice to have a front desk staff. And what we do is we have our people that want to sign up for a time. They contact a coach or the front desk staff. We put that time into Slack and give our front desk staff a heads up in the future that person's going to be coming in at that time to run that session. So just something to think about in a small scale, the logistics of it. It's not, again, super time consuming, but you do need to have someone to run it, and it shouldn't be your coach being pulled away from classes to run these InBody tests. So let's talk numbers. I already mentioned earlier that the upfront cost of purchasing the InBody and some of the initial printouts and printer and wipes and all that was a total cost of $5,700. Okay, on top of that, I would expect roughly about a $15 to $30 monthly expense towards things like new sheets of paper, new wipes, the staff to actually run those sessions, right? You might not be compensating the staff for every session that they run, but you do have to think about how that factors into the time of your front desk staff in terms of scheduling, running payments, tracking punch cards if you're selling those things. There is a little bit of a cost to that, and I think it's roughly a nominal value of about $15 to $30 per month, okay? For us, we also could factor in something like our maintenance costs of it breaking down and having to send it back, and that being a several $100 cost for us at a time. But if you break it up on a monthly basis of us having it now for almost 2 years, it's still probably in that $15 to $30 range. And we've had our InBody since April of 2018. We started tracking the InBody test separately though, starting in October of 2018, okay? So when we first had it, we'd use it for things like nutrition challenges, we'd use it for things like one-on-one nutrition coaching, but we didn't separate how much we were making specifically from the InBody because it's part of a bigger package. But we also have a lot of members that are not buying nutrition challenges or nutrition coaching, they're actually paying for InBody tests, okay? And we charge $35 a test for a single one-off test of the InBody. We charge 4 tests for $99. So if someone could buy a package or a punch card, that they have an entire year to use those 4 sessions. And just through tracking those alone and keeping that separate from our nutrition challenges and one-on-one coaching, we've taken in about $3,700 since October of 2018. Okay, so in about 16 months, we've taken in about $3,700. And if you take that away from the roughly $6,200 that we've spent based on the initial $5,700 cost, plus about $500 in ongoing costs, then you're still looking that we've covered a little bit more than half of that initial investment in about 2 years. But when I look at what we've been able to do from a nutrition challenge and nutrition coaching standpoint, again, I couldn't imagine us being able to do that without this machine. It's that good, it's that useful for showing progress. And when it comes to something like a nutrition challenge specifically, if we're doing a 4-week or a 6-week challenge, we're always including a before and after test of the InBody. And generally that allows us to charge about $50 more for that challenge than we would normally charge without it. So where we used to charge between $49 and $99 for nutrition challenges, we almost always charge more in the ballpark of $129 to $149 now, okay? So it allows us to charge a significant amount more for those challenges and deliver a lot more value to those people in those challenges. So it's hard to really say for sure. I would say at this point, having it now for almost 2 years, it's definitely paid for itself so far. I think we haven't made a ton of profit off of it, but again, there's a lot of intangible things that are coming with it. And I would just encourage you guys, if you're thinking about buying it, make sure you have the landscape to really make this thing work. It's definitely an investment. It's definitely not going to be a Band-Aid on anything that you have now, but make sure that you guys have a process where it fits in already. You're doing no sweat intros consistently with prospects. You already have successful nutrition challenges going or successful nutrition coaching, and you just want to make it better. You have a front desk staff or a system to handle these clients without pulling the coaches away from class. Or you have a private office to be able to store this and run the sessions. All these little things matter, and I'd like for you guys to consider that before you decide to take on this investment. But for the most part, if you have some of those things in place, I do believe the InBody is worth it. And again, we purchased the InBody 270. I have no stakes in you purchasing one or not, but I thought it would be useful to have this video, have this resource for you guys that are considering. And if you guys have any further questions, feel free to reach out to Andrew at CrossFitPalmBeach.com. Talk to you soon.